veterans are brave men and women who are still alive today. We thank them for their service and the price they choose to pay. Each day we live in freedom, and our memory must not fade. The reason for this freedom comes with sacrifices made. So, we celebrate our veterans on the 11th of November. We thank them for their courage and pledge always to remember. Thank you for your service.
My name is Mike Mattingly, and I'm a retired major from the United States Army Armor Corps, and I served from 1975 to 1995. I served in various places, normally about every 3 years, and that was Fort Knox, Kentucky, Fort Polk, Louisiana, Schaffenburg, Germany, Panama, Honduras, Austin, Texas, and Jacksonville, Florida. Best experience I had was just being with tanks. We started out with what they called the M60A1, and after about 10 years, we got trained in the M1, and we used to make a joke about it. We went from the Volkswagen of tanks to the Cadillac of tanks, because the M1 was so smooth riding compared to the old M60. My best tour was in Aschaffenburg, Germany. The Germans were great people, and you got to go to Oktoberfest and all the Volksmarches and stuff, and that was where my daughter was born, was in Schaffenburg, Germany. First off, I'd like to show you pictures of my heritage. Basically is my father and his two brothers also served in World War II, and that kind of got me started in going into the Army and really wanting to be in the Army. This next picture is of the first set of tanks I was command of, and we were doing night firing exercise. And then we've got one here of the new tank that we went to, which is going through the mud, which was basically part of us training in the M1 tank. And that was a real thrill learning to train on that one. And then last but not least are just a couple of the medals that I was proud to receive during my time in the service. Serving this country was a great honor for me. I've always wanted to be in the military ever since I was in high school. I determined that based on my father and my two uncles being in, I just needed to serve my country so that we could keep it free. And my uncle, I'd like to say, was one of my uncles was in the Battle of the Bulge, and he came out of it and ended up remaining in a veterans hospital for after the World War II for about the rest of his life. Because he was mentally in shock from the Battle of the Bulge. But overall, it's just a great feeling and pride. You get goosebumps every time you hear the national anthem and it being sang, and you just have all the camaraderie for all your fellow service members. Well, I'd like to say for all the kids, just keep up the good work, stay in school, of course, and be as patriotic as you can to your country. Obey your mom and dad, because they're going to be the ones that guide you in the right direction. But be patriotic, cherish the flag, and if you feel the need when you get older to serve, then God bless you, and serve it with dignity and honor.
I'm proud that Papa helped so many people.
I'm proud that Papa served our country.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Hello kids, my name is Raymond Campbell, and I served in the U.S. Army, and I was in charge of communications and recovery, missed recovery and so forth. I served, I went through basic training at Fort Benning. I went through basic training in Fort Gordon, Georgia for communication. And also I went to Fort Polk, Louisiana for of advanced training. I thought it was my duty to serve in the service, especially at a certain time of the war going on, Vietnam War was going on. One of the best things you can do is get an education while you're in the military. Also, you get a chance to travel, and you get a chance to see a lot of the world, quite a few places in the world. I would tell the kids, you know, if they didn't want to go to college, then I think they should go to military, because that's where I received my training for telephone work through the military. I was also started out as an engineer with a telephone company, and that's where I retired from. Basically because of the military, United States Army.
I feel really good that my family has been serving this country, and that makes me really proud.
Thank you for your service.
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 Good morning, Edison Park. My name is James Howarth. I'm a retired Sergeant First Class from the United States Army. I served for nearly 23 years, serving in the Field Artillery and the Recruiting Command for the Army. I joined the Army in January of 1983, and I served until December of 2005. I traveled to many different countries and places during my career. States such as Oklahoma, Kansas, California, Texas, Colorado, Michigan, and Arkansas, I all called home during my service. I was also stationed during Operation Desert Shield, Desert Storm in Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Kuwait. I'm proud of the service I had, and I'm glad to serve my country, and I'm just glad to be here today with my grandson, Jameson Howarth. And I'm also proud to say that I'm a third-generation military person. My father served, I served, and my son, Montana Howarth, Jameson's father, also served in the Army. Today I brought with me just a few artifacts that I was able to collect over the years in the military. I brought stuff that I used during Desert Storm. I was part of the Field Artillery, as I said, and we had rocket systems that look like this. It's called a multiple launch rocket system. It's quite impressive, and it was able to help suppress the enemy during an attack. This is what it looks like at night. It was quite the light show when you see all the rockets going off during Desert Storm. I was glad they were on my side. That's why we train so hard in the military, so that we can keep you and your family safe here in America. On the back of the rocket system, we have these covers. They cover each of the 12 pods on the rocket, one on the front and one on the back. And because the military try to be good stewards, and we try to clean up our messes that we make, just like you should. So we collected all these that we could find that weren't blown apart when they went off, so that they wouldn't be left as litter on the desert in Saudi Arabia and Iraq. I was able to have this one signed by many of the people I served with in different parts of our unit, and was very happy that we were all able to serve and that we were able to return home safely. This is my picture from when I first joined the military back in the early 80s, and this is my son, Montana Howarth, when he served in the military in the early 2000s. And in closing, Edison Park, I want you to understand the importance of Veterans Day. Today, as we sit here in our classrooms and in our workplaces, there are over 1 million soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen out serving your country right now. They're out doing the duty so that you can be safe here at home and our families can be safe when they're abroad. We're proud of the United States, and we're proud of the United States Armed Forces, which work together to keep America safe. Thank you.
I'm Jameson Howarth. I'm proud of my papa for being in the Army and my dad.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service.
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, and Merchant Marines.
Edison Park thanks you for your service.